When you were born, did you arrive? Did you come from somewhere else, drop into this world like a stone into water? We speak as if we did. I came into this world on March 15th, 1965. But think about that phrase for a moment. Into the world. As if the world was here, complete, and then you showed up. An uninvited guest at an already full party. I'm Adrian Vale, and I've spent 58 years walking this earth, 30 of them asking questions that most people stop asking after childhood. And here's what I've learned. The most dangerous lies are the ones hidden in our grammar, in the innocent prepositions we never question. Into, such a small word, such an enormous deception. You didn't fall into this world. You didn't arrive here from some other place. You grew out of it, like a leaf from a tree, like a wave from an ocean. You are not in the universe. You are something the universe is doing. Right here. Right now. I'm standing in a forest in Northern California as I tell you this. There's a redwood tree beside me that's been here for 800 years. Look at its branches, thousands of them, each one covered in millions of needles. Did these needles come into the tree? Did they arrive from elsewhere? Of course not. They emerged from the tree. They are the tree expressing itself in a particular form. You are the universe expressing itself in a particular form. A human-shaped form. A form that can think and question and somehow, mysteriously, become aware of itself. But we've forgotten this. We've been taught to think of ourselves as separate things, isolated subjects in a world of objects. Skin-encapsulated egos, as my old friend Alan Watts used to say. We think we're like billiard balls on a table, distinct, separate, occasionally colliding but fundamentally alone. This is the great illusion, and it's making us miserable. Let me tell you about an apple. There's an apple hanging from a branch above my head right now. It's red, almost perfectly round, catching the afternoon light. If that apple could think, and let's pretend it can, what would it think about itself? It might think, I am an apple, I am separate, I am individual, I am me. And in a sense, it would be right. It is distinct, it has boundaries, it has a particular shape, a particular taste. You can pick it, hold it, eat it. It seems utterly separate from the tree. But look closer. Where does the apple end and the tree begin? That stem connecting them, is that part of the apple or part of the tree? The sap flowing through that stem, is that apple juice or tree juice? The cells of the apple were built by the tree, from the tree's resources, according to the tree's genetic instructions. The apple is not on the tree. The apple is something the tree is doing. It's a verb disguised as a noun. The tree is appling, just as the sun is shining and the river is flowing. Now expand the picture. The tree itself, where did it come from? From a seed, yes. But that seed came from another apple, from another tree. And that tree grew from soil, from water, from sunlight, from air. The tree is made of earth and sky. It's a place where the planet gathers itself into a particular form for a while. The carbon in the tree's trunk was once carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Before that, it might have been in the ocean, or in a dinosaur, or in a volcano. The water in its cells has been cycling through the planet for billions of years, through clouds and rivers and other living things, and back again. So where does the tree begin? Where does it end? And if the tree has no clear boundaries, then the apple certainly doesn't. The apple is not a separate thing that happened to end up on a tree. The apple is the entire universe, gathered into apple form for a season. You see where I'm going with this? You are the apple, but you're also the tree, and the soil, and the rain, and the sun. You're not a separate thing that fell into the world. You're a pattern the world is making. You're a wave the ocean is waving. Listen to that. My breath, in and out, in and out. We say I breathe, subject verb. I am doing something called breathing. I am taking in air, using it, pushing it back out. The air is external to me, and I'm manipulating it, controlling it. But is that really what's happening? Think about it. Right now, the air around me, this mixture of nitrogen and oxygen and carbon dioxide, is flowing into my lungs without any conscious effort on my part. My diaphragm contracts, my chest expands, and the atmosphere rushes in to fill the space. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to try. It just happens. And then something miraculous occurs. The oxygen in that air diffuses across the membranes in my lungs into my bloodstream. My blood carries it to every cell in my body. Those cells use it to burn glucose, to create energy, to keep this whole system running. And in the process, they create carbon dioxide, which my blood carries back to my lungs, which I exhale into the atmosphere. Now here's the question. Am I breathing the air, or is the air breathing me? The atmosphere and my body are not two separate things that occasionally interact. They're one continuous system. The air outside my body and the air inside my body are the same air, flowing through me like water through a whirlpool. You could say, I breathe air. But you could just as accurately say, the atmosphere is breathing itself through the form called Adrian Vale. Both statements are true, or rather, both statements are partial truths, and the whole truth is something our language struggles to express. Here's another one. You feel the sun on your skin. Right now, I'm standing in a patch of sunlight, and I can feel warmth on my face. We say, I feel the sun. But think about what's actually happening. 8 minutes ago, photons left the surface of the sun, traveled 93 million miles through space, passed through Earth's atmosphere, and struck my skin. When they hit, they transferred their energy to the molecules in my skin cells, causing them to vibrate faster, which my nervous system interprets as heat. So am I feeling the sun? Or is the sun feeling itself through my skin? The sun and I are not separate. We're part of one continuous process. The sun is expressing itself as light and heat. My skin is expressing itself as sensation. Together, they create the experience we call feeling warmth. You could say the sun is touching me, but you could just as accurately say, I am the way the sun touches itself. I am the universe's way of feeling its own warmth. This isn't poetry. This isn't metaphor. This is literal truth, hidden by the limitations of our language. We use subject-verb-object grammar. I feel the sun. I breathe the air. I see the tree. This grammar creates the illusion of separation. It makes it seem like there's a subject, me, that's separate from objects, the sun, the air, the tree, and occasionally interacts with them. But the reality is more like a dance or a symphony. There's no dancer separate from the dance. There's no music separate from the instruments playing it. There's just one continuous, interconnected process, and we're part of it. We tell ourselves a story about independence. It's one of the most cherished stories in modern culture, especially in the West. The story of the self-made man. the individual who stands alone, who needs nothing from anyone, who creates his own destiny through sheer force of will. It's a nice story. It's also completely false. I'm walking now, my boots crunching on fallen leaves. Each step feels like something I'm doing, a choice I'm making. And in a sense it is. But look at what's required for this simple act of walking. First, there's my body. This collection of 30 trillion cells, each one a descendant of the first cell that formed when my father's sperm met my mother's egg. Those cells are constantly dying and being replaced. The me that's walking now is not the same collection of cells that walked yesterday. I'm like a river, the same pattern but different water. Those cells are made of atoms, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and dozens of others. Those atoms were forged in the hearts of stars billions of years ago. When those stars exploded, they scattered those atoms across space. Eventually, they gathered into a cloud of gas and dust that became our solar system. Some of them ended up on Earth. Some of them ended up in the food my mother ate while I was in her womb. Now they're arranged in the pattern called Adrian Vale. So when I walk, ancient starlight is walking. The universe is moving through the forest, experiencing itself through this particular form. But it goes deeper. For me to walk, I need ground to walk on. This ground is the surface of a planet that's been evolving for 4.5 billion years. The soil under my feet contains minerals from eroded rock, organic matter from countless generations of dead plants and animals, bacteria and fungi and insects, all working together to create the conditions for life. I need air to breathe while I walk. That air was created by billions of years of photosynthesis, plants taking in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. Every breath I take is a gift from the plant kingdom, from the forests and the oceans full of phytoplankton. I need the sun shining through the trees, providing the energy that powers this entire system. I need the moon, whose gravity stabilizes Earth's tilt and creates the tides. I need the other planets, whose gravitational fields cleared debris from the inner solar system and made Earth a safer place for life to evolve. I need the laws of physics to remain constant, gravity to keep me on the ground, electromagnetism to hold my atoms together, the strong and weak nuclear forces to keep my atoms from flying apart or collapsing. So when I take a step, what's really happening? Is Adrian Vale walking? Or is it more accurate to say, the entire universe, in this particular time and place, is arranging itself into the pattern called Adrian Vale walking? The idea of independence is a fiction. It's a useful fiction sometimes. It helps us take responsibility for our actions. It motivates us to develop our abilities. But it's still a fiction. You are not independent. You are interdependent. You are a node in an infinite network of relationships. You are a pattern that the universe is making right now out of everything that has ever happened. This isn't a diminishment. It's not saying you don't matter or that you're not real. It's saying you're more than you thought you were. You're not a tiny, isolated fragment of the universe. You're the whole universe, expressing itself in a particular way. So here's what I want you to understand. Here's what I've learned in 58 years of looking at this question from every angle I can find. You didn't fall into the world, you grew out of it. Just like the apple grows out of the tree, you grew out of the earth. Not metaphorically, literally. You are made of earth. You are animated earth. You are the planet's way of thinking and feeling and experiencing itself. Your parents didn't create you out of nothing. They provided the conditions for you to grow, the way soil provides conditions for a seed to grow. But the material that became you was already here. The atoms, the molecules, the energy, all of it was already part of the world. It just rearranged itself into a new pattern, a pattern called you. And that pattern is not separate from the world, it's continuous with it. Your skin is not a boundary that separates you from the environment. It's a membrane that connects you to it. Everything you think of as inside you was recently outside you and will soon be outside you again. The food you ate yesterday is you today. The air you're breathing right now will be part of you in a few seconds. The water you drink becomes your blood, your tears, your sweat. You're not a closed system. You're an open process, a whirlpool in the river of the world. This understanding changes everything. If you really get it, not just intellectually, but in your bones, it transforms how you relate to the world. You stop feeling like an alien in a strange land. You stop feeling like you're struggling against the world, trying to carve out a space for yourself in a hostile environment. You realize you belong here, completely and absolutely, because you're not separate from here. You are here, expressing itself in human form. You stop feeling so alone. Yes, you're an individual. Yes, you have your own unique perspective, your own thoughts and feelings. But you're not isolated. You're connected to everything. The same force that grows the trees and moves the planets and ignites the stars. That force is growing you, moving you, animating you. You stop feeling so anxious about death. If you didn't fall into the world, then you can't fall out of it. When this particular pattern called Adrian Vale dissolves, the atoms that made it up will return to the world and form new patterns. The universe that expressed itself as me will express itself as something else. Nothing is lost. The dance continues. I'm 68 years old now. I've walked through forests on 6 continents. I've watched sunrises from mountaintops and sunsets from deserts. I've talked with monks and scientists and artists and children. And everywhere I go, I see the same thing. The universe, endlessly creative, endlessly expressing itself in new forms. You are one of those forms. Not a mistake, not an accident, not an intruder. You are exactly what the universe is doing, right here, right now. You are the universe's way of looking at itself. You are the cosmos, awakened to its own existence. You are billions of years of evolution, gathered into this moment, this breath, this awareness. So stop thinking of yourself as something that fell into the world. You didn't fall. You grew. You are still growing. You are the world, becoming aware of itself. You are not in the universe. You are the universe in this particular place, in this particular form. And that, my friends, changes everything.